Hi everyone, it's Julianne here for Trinity Stamps, and welcome back for another Halloween-inspired card that's a part of my Halloween card making series. I'm going to be showing you today how I created this super cute and oh so scary Halloween candy monster using a bunch of the Trinity Stamps products, and those products include the Autumn Sentiment Stamp Set, the Harvest Candy and Flower Buckets die set, and to create my monster I'm going to be using one of my favorites, the Make a Monster die set, along with some Distress Oxide inks in the colors Carved Pumpkin, Black Soot, Wilted Violet, and finally some Barn Door. And for my ink blending today, I am going to be using my Trinity blending brushes. So let's get started. So I did do all of my die cutting off camera, so that way I could save some time in this video, since this card really is just all die cuts besides my two sentiments. I'm going to be starting out by adding some depth to those die cuts by doing some easy ink blending using some of my Distress Oxide inks. For the body of the monster, I used a decal edge die in order to die cut out a piece of purple colored cardstock. And to add some depth and detail to that die cut, so it doesn't look so flat, I'm going to be coming in with some Wilted Violet, and I'm going to be ink blending that color around the edges, fading that color in towards the center, since I do want to have his face be lighter than the rest of his body. Then to add even more depth, I'm going to be coming back in using some Black Soot, and I'm going to be adding that color just around the edges as well. And then I'll come back in with some more of that Wilted Violet in order to blend the two colors together. So once I finish up ink blending the body of the monster, I'm then going to be doing the same with his arms. Now these arm die cuts are a part of the Make a Monster die set. There are multiple different arms that you can choose from. These are just the ones that I picked for my card today. But I ran both of those through my die cutting machine with some more of that purple colored cardstock. And I'm going to be coming in with both that Wilted Violet and Black Soot again in order to add some depth to both of them as well. So once I finish up ink blending those arms, I really wanted to add some more texture to both my body and the arm die cuts. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding some water spots to both. So I'm just going to be adding some water into my hand, and then I'm just going to be flicking that water all over both of those die cuts before picking up any excess water with a paper towel. Next, I'm going to be doing the same by adding some depth to my pumpkin die cut, but this time I'm going to be using the colors Carved Pumpkin and Barn Door. In order to create this jack-o'-lantern, I used the Harvest Candy and Flower Bucket die set in order to cut out some orange colored cardstock, and I used the jack-o'-lantern face die cut that's included in this die set in order to create his face. I just love this die set. You can actually use it all year long if you want to, and just not use the jack-o'-lantern die, and just use the bowl itself, and that makes a really nice base for all of your flower images. So once I have that all finished up, I'm now going to start working on assembling everything together for my card. So what I'm going to be doing here is adding some detail to those eyebrow die cuts. And I'm just going to be doing that by coming in with some green Copic markers and doing a flicking-like motion. And that's going to give them some really nice added detail. I absolutely love this Make a Monster die set. It is one of my favorites. I love that you can just use certain dies that are included in the set, or you can use all of them, and each time you're going to get a completely different looking monster by combining the different eyes to the different mouths, maybe adding some horns. You can use different arms like I stated earlier. There's just so many possibilities. One of my favorite dies that are included in this set are definitely the eyebrows, hands down for sure. They are actually the main reason why I bought this die set. They are just absolutely adorable. I can't get enough of them. But once I finish up adding in that detail using my Copic markers, I'm then going to be adhering the multiple eyebrow die cuts together, so that way they add some dimension to my card and really stand out from the other die cuts. I also did the same process with my arm die cuts as well. And next I'm going to start assembling everything together onto my card, adhering everything down using some liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to put on some music and I'll be right back. So what you saw me do there was adhere my jack-o'-lantern down to my card so that I could adhere all the candy behind it, but it just wasn't working and I wasn't getting the look I was going for. So before that liquid adhesive dries, I just peeled that jack-o'-lantern off of my background. Now don't worry, I know I destroyed my Munster and it looks horrible, but once I adhere that pumpkin back down, you won't be able to see any of that at all. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be adding some liquid adhesive to the back of the pumpkin, and I'm going to be adhering all of those candy pieces down. And once I get all of those adhered, I'll just flip it back over and adhere it back down to my card where it was before. Now that I have all of my die cut pieces adhered down, I'm now going to be adhering my Munster down to a piece of black colored cardstock that I did trim down to A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to be adhering him down using some foam adhesive in order to give my card some more added dimension. I'm then going to be coming in and adhering a few additional candy pieces down at the bottom of my jack-o'-lantern using some more of that liquid adhesive. And since this is a Halloween candy Munster, he definitely just needs all of the candy for sure. So once I get those last few pieces of candy adhered down, I'm then going to be coming in using some glossy accents, and I'm going to be adding that to each one of those candy pieces, and that's going to give each one of those candies a really nice shiny effect that will make it look as though they are candy wrappers. Now this is definitely an optional step. You can definitely skip this for sure, but I think it really adds something to my card. While those glossy accents are drying, I'm going to finish off my Munster's eyes by coming in with some of the I've Got My Eye on You Munster Eye sprinkles from Trinity Stamps, and I'm going to be adhering those into the center of each one of my Munster's eyes. Next, I'm going to be adding my sentiments onto my card, and for that I use the Autumn Sentiment Stamp Set in order to stamp out 2 sentiments onto some more of that lime green color cardstock. And I'm going to be adhering the Trick or Treat sentiment to the outside of my card using some more foam adhesive. And then on the inside, I'm going to be adhering my second sentiment, which is May Your Candy Bucket Never Run Out of Chocolate. I thought that sentiment was perfect for my card. And I'm going to be adhering that down onto the inside of my card using some more of that liquid adhesive. And since I still have plenty of those die cut candy pieces, I'm going to be adhering a few around my sentiment as well. So once I have all of those adhered, that's going to complete my cute and oh so spooky Halloween candy monster card for today. I just love how he turned out, and I really hope that you do too. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and spending some time with me. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe for even more card making ideas. If you are interested in any of the supplies I used today, they will all be listed and linked down below in the description box. And I will have this video added into my Halloween card making series playlist so that you can see all of the other Halloween inspired cards that I've created so far. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crafting!